Hi, in this lesson of the Microsoft Excel tutorials, we are going to learn how to combine first and last names using the concatenate function. Sometimes you have multiple columns bearing separate data, and an example is when you have a column as one column bearing the first names, another column bearing the last names of, let's say, your workers, employees, and you want to create a separate column that contains their full name. So you are going to merge their first names and last names. This can actually apply to any set of data that you want to put together, and most times when you are going to merge them, you are going to have some form of a separator between them. Okay, so that is the purpose of this video, and if you are interested in knowing how to do that using the concatenate function, then keep on watching. Hello, I am Dr. Wanya Obed and you're welcome to the channel. On this channel, we'll put out a lot of videos relating to tech, software, mobile apps, and various digital skills. If that sounds like something you're interested in, then subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Hit the bell icon so that anytime we release a new video, you'll be duly notified. In this video, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to learn how to merge or how to combine first names and last names into one column. So let's get into the computer and I'll show you how to do that. On my screen right now, as you can see, I have a sample data where the first column is for the first names, the next column is the last names, and the last column is the full name. So I want to combine these two columns into one, so that instead of having Obed and Ehonia separately, I should be able to have them together as Obed Ehonia. Alright, and we are going to use the concatenate function, which is quite easy to do. So if you are new to Excel, you need to know that there are a lot of functions in Excel, and to call any function at all, you have to begin with the equal to sign. So since I want the result here, I make sure that that is the cell that is selected. Click on equal to, then type the name of the function. So the name of our function is concatenate, and you realize that Excel is suggesting it for us. So you can go ahead and click on this function or continue to spell it the way you want. So the name of the function followed by an opening bracket. The moment you bring the opening bracket, Excel shows you the format that the function takes. So you realize that this can take a certain number of values or properties, and each of them should be separated by a comma. So pay attention to that. And in Excel, one good thing is that we can reference cells. So we don't need to type the exact value in the cell. We just need to give it a cell's name. So for naming of cells, we use the name of the column and the number of the row. So this particular item here, Obed, will bear the reference A2. So we can say that we want to merge A2 and B2. So continue typing A2, then comma B2. Now this is the formula. We can close it, but what you're going to realize is that there is not going to be any spacing because you are saying it should merge it. So it's going to put them together. Let me hit enter, and as you can see, Obed Ehonia without any space. In technical terms, we call it without a delimiter. Okay, so you have to indicate that you want it to be separated by something. Most times, you may want to separate it with a space or a comma. So how do we achieve that? Let's go back to our formula up here. Let me try. Sorry. I want to try zooming. Okay, so that you can see fully. All right, so the formula that we have here, we want to work on it. Let me do it here so that you can easily see. A2, we want to put a comma in there. You realize that when we're creating a formula, even the auto suggestion is up here, each item is separated by a comma. So we can introduce the space as an item. But how do you introduce? If you do it this way, it's not going to work. So what we are going to do is we bring this column, we open column, but make sure there is a space. So we have these columns guarding an empty space. Okay, so we'll put the columns and we'll leave a space between the columns. So Excel is going to consider that empty space. Okay, so for instance, if you have some programming knowledge, you realize that anytime we use these columns, whatever is within them is considered a string. So in this sense, Excel is considering the empty space as a string, and therefore it's going to display it out as such, as space. Okay, so make sure that is there. Then we separate that with another comma. So that is how we achieve this. Hit enter, and as you can see, we now have the space in between them. If it wasn't space that we are interested in, we could change the space to a comma. So for instance, if I want to separate them with a comma, then I put a comma in the quotation marks. Okay, so the quotation marks is just saying that there is some string here that you need to display. All right, not a formula, not a reference, it's a string. Display it as such. So if it is an empty space in there, display it as empty space. If it is a comma, display it as a comma. So hit enter, and as you can see, they have been separated by a comma. Maybe you also want to even use, now we want a comma and a space. So how do you go about it? You click within comma and space. So right after your comma, make sure you put some space in there, hit enter. And as you can see, we have we have Obed, comma, space, Ehonia. And you can do this with multiple names, or you can use it to combine any sort of data at all. All you need to appreciate is how the concatenate function works. And I've taught you that it takes various elements, and the elements should be separated by commas. If it is not, the item that you want to appear is not a reference value, a reference of a cell, then you have to put it in the quotation marks so that it displays it exactly as it is. So if I wanted to separate them with, let's say, the plus sign, okay, plus, I would have done this plus and maybe space here, click enter, and you get it. So that is how to use concatenate to make. And let me go back and delete this sign. I want it to be an empty space. Okay, so now we've done this. If you have a lot of data, all you have to do to apply it to all of them is to drag it down. Drag it down and you get it for all the rest of your data. So as much as you have, you can just drag it down, or even when you copy the formula and paste it in the various cells, automatically Excel will update the references and make sure that you get the right thing you are looking for. So basically, that is how to use the concatenate function to join two separate columns like the first name and the last name. I hope you've learned something new from this video. And if you enjoyed the video, give the video a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. In fact, hit the bell icon so that you will be among the first set of people to be notified anytime we release a new video. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye-bye.